Good morning, everyone. For those of you, it's, East Coast or West Coast. Anyway, welcome to track 2. This is the noobs track for GrimmCon 0x3. Our first speaker today is Nina Jones. I have, well, first of all, her actual talk, as you can probably see on screen, is Phishing and Social Engineering 101. So Nina is currently on her second year studying network and IT security at Noroff School of Technology and Digital Media. Through her studies, she's come to find an interest in phishing and social engineering, which means she has found ways to get great grades through class, and well played. All right, that's how I'm.
That's
how I read it too. I agree, Jeff.
As a result of
your paper next time I go back to school.
Topic: phishing, social engineering at the mark of end of year 1 at Noroff. Nina lives on a small island on the outskirts of Norway, in a county where, due to outsourcing, no IT jobs exist on the market. So if you're looking, she's awesome. She's presenting at conferences. It'd be nice to land nicely into a good environment as well. There's more to the bio itself, and I'll post in the Discord now. I'll be monitoring as we go the Noobs Track channel. Pre-show banter, yep. All right, so Nina, go ahead and take it away. Leslie and I will mute and stop our video for your presentation. Then I'll compile questions from Discord. I think you're in Discord as well. And we'll do a little bit of Q&A at the end. But any questions before you want to take things away, Nina?
No, I'm good to go.
All right. Let the games, speaking begin. Enjoy, everyone.
Okay, hi. So yeah, thank you for that very nice introduction. I appreciate that. My name is Nina Jones. I was born in Wales and I moved to Norway as a child. Part-time employee in a tool shop. I enjoy road trips, sewing and crocheting. I play in a brass band, and to top it all off, I am a single mother. Back in June, when I was finishing my first year at Noroff, I had to deliver a report, and I chose the topics phishing and social engineering. And as I was writing the report, I discovered that the definitions of phishing and social engineering contradict without social
Ladies and gentlemen, we are investigating technical issues on, looks like it might be on Nina's side. It might be somewhere along the way. Nina, if you can hear me, I would recommend turning off your webcam for the sake of bandwidth and going to audio only for the presentation. Let's see. Nina is, okay, I think she's rebooting or reconnecting on her side, which is just fine. That's exactly what we want. So in the meantime, let's give a few seconds about ourselves. We didn't properly introduce ourselves. Wesley, do you want to go first? A little bit of background on yourself?
Sure. I'm Wesley. I'm here to co-host with Jeff. I'm just a tinker of things. I know pretty much absolutely nothing about cybersecurity. They give me certs for whatever reasons and things like that. No, I've been tinkering for maybe about 10 years in the field and everything. I've done a little bit of everything. Like I said, I still Google everything when it comes out. I Google about Google. That's kind of my mantra. I Google about Google to really just understand things. But did pen testing, its response, and everything like that. I'm more of like a blue teamer. I like blue team. I don't want to say I hate red team or I try to be adversarial, but it's definitely something that I definitely talk trash until I get my butt kicked on on like purple team engagement. So it gets me better, but it makes them bring out their better tricks.
All right, and as for myself, let's see, not connected to audio on Nina, so that's on you to reconnect and reshare. There you are.
Is everything?
I can hear you. Yep.
And
All
you
right.
can see my
You
video?
can give it a shot as is. It may have been bandwidth issues. It may have been local CPU side. It may have been something outside of our control. But if you want to essentially restart as is with webcam, that's fine. If it is a bandwidth issue, I have found that turning off your webcam, for the sake of conserving that conserving that bandwidth for audio may be a right call. So maybe let's try with audio and video, and then worst case, and we have time, by the way, we're just fine, don't worry. But let's go ahead
Okay,
and get started.
just where did I fall out?
You fell out somewhere in the last slide. I would recommend going back at least one slide.
Yeah, maybe 1 or 2 slides.
Yeah.
Another slide then. Yep. Because we heard your intro. Essentially, single mother background was the
that was the clearest part that came in. That's when the handshake disconnected.
Yep, that's pretty much it. So Lee and Leslie and I will drop off and let you take it from here. There you go.
All right. Okay.
For what it's worth, for me at least, audio is immediately cutting out. Nina, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have a different device you can present from? I know it's last minute.
Okay.
No, things are going okay.
Sorry, guys.
No. Stuff happens. This is totally fine. I will share. It seems only when it's going full screen for whatever reason.
Technical problems there.
Yep, those gremlins, they're gonna keep going. May I ask you to turn on the webcam again?
I hope everything is fine.
Seem reliable then.
And I'm back in business.
Okay.
So, well, you
Nina, I cannot reliably hear you. Sorry. All right. We may try for a condensed version of the presentation itself, but it looks like due to technical issues, we're not going to reliably be able to do the entire presentation. We're only about 10 minutes in, and we have 45 minutes allocated per speaker, even though each talk is around 30 minutes. So we're seeing a little bit of inside baseball real quick right here. Maybe go to panel mode, have someone else share the slides, and Nina talk. Mike, great idea. The only thing is coordination at this point. I can reach out of band to Discord, but I think she's rebooting her machine.
Yeah, reboot may fix that.
Oh, and Nina is back in. I will make presenter.
How is it going?
Appreciate everybody's patience.
If you want to switch display versions, we're seeing the presenter view.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Do you want to just try one more time here?
I'll have another go. It was my internet connection got lost.
Oh, lovely. Yeah, for presenting, essentially wired is better. Like I believe in wireless a lot, but not enough for presenting. Somebody else uses the microwave. There goes 2.4 gigahertz. All right.
Yeah.
Take it away. Thank you very much.
I understand. All right. Thanks everybody for your report. Many contrary and paradoxing definitions, and I decided, for the sake of the report, to go fish.
Well, the restart is a little bit of a sign that Nina is trying for one last reboot, which is totally fine. We will find a way. There you go. Bryson mentioned congratulations to Camel graduating from the new speaker track at 0x01, now actually over in the expert track. So yes, apparently Camel has graduated. So that's awesome. So
that's going to be everybody here.
side,
Everybody in the noob track, they're going to definitely graduate to the expert track. One talk and you're an expert. Just letting you know.
Well, it looks like this was GrimmCon 0x1 was a fair time ago, but it's more about you've been helped up by others, and at some point you have some advice, you have made some mistakes of your own, and you're happy to share those mistakes with others. They don't have to make them, right? We can both be simultaneously mentor and mentee. I have folks that I help, and I have lots of folks that have helped me. So same idea all the way.
Absolutely. That's definitely a true statement, because I know when even helping people, they're going deep into a subject that I know a little bit about. I know how things work, and they definitely help me to kind of understand the material, understand how to present it, the way the way they want to tell their story. Like, hey, that's a great idea how to tell that story. Always learning something from speakers. You know, don't be afraid. You can always learn something. Everybody has something to share, whether it's the stories, a way to present, a way to really just title something. I've learned a lot about putting titles on presentations. It makes a huge difference in what you're trying to convey, what you're trying to talk about. So
yep. I have a favorite image on this that I just love. I'll share my screen here momentarily. Open image, new tab. Where are we? Go to webinar.
I hope to see all of our attendees present as well. You know, even if it's just something simple like, hey, you know, how to better your TCP connection or something like that. I don't know. You know.
Yep. So I gave Nina messenger powers. We can try for swap again, Nina.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I've
all right.
rebooted my system to see if that helps.
Okay. Are you still have the same internet connection and still on wireless? It may be the issue more than anything.
Yes, and yes, as I don't have any other alternatives where I live.
That's fine. Yeah, we'll give us another pass through. Don't worry. This is okay. This happens. You'll be just fine.
Thanks.
Do not worry. All right. I will mute and stop my webcam and let you. I would recommend, since it does seem to be bandwidth related or internet access related, we would love to see your beautiful face, but we'll probably say webcam off is my recommendation.
All right. Thank you. Am I on? I think I'm on. Okay, well, yeah, when I was writing my report, I discovered that the definitions for phishing and social engineering were contradicting each other. And for the sake of the report and for the flow of the report, I decided that social engineering is a technique used to phish, and that was the definition I went for. So defining phishing, I wrote that it is an umbrella term which employs several techniques to acquire personal details in pursuance of illegitimately extracting money from a victim. While Josh Frulinger, he claims that social engineering is the art of exploiting human psychology rather than technical hacking techniques to gain access to buildings, systems, or data. And that's quite an important thing to remember, that social engineers do not need to know anything about coding or programming or hacking or anything which has to do with hacking when you think of hacking. Some techniques which social engineers use are on the left-hand side, and on the right-hand side, these techniques can often then be used for phishing. And some of these may be techniques you've heard of before, and others may be ones which are completely new to you. Here are more techniques which I encourage you to look up, as they are outside the scope of the report. I do wish I had more time to talk about them, but my time is already running out. When I wrote the report, I chose to raise awareness because according to a State of Phishing report from 2020, 88% of businesses worldwide experience spear phishing attacks. The Ponemon Institute identifies that through a study on plain sight hacking, which was conducted on 46 companies through 157 trials, then 91% of the hacks were successful, and out of those hacks, 49% needed less than 15 minutes to complete the hack. And the FBI reports that the financial losses from business email compromise accumulated to $1.7 billion in 2019 alone. So phishing is very easy. A 2016 study pointed out that 46% of surveyed leaders said their companies fell victim to social engineering, and 50% of the leaders said that their training towards their employees was ineffective. But why is it ineffective? Why do employees keep pushing the buttons and opening the mails and letting people in who they don't know? So I wanted to look into that, and how do we train our employees? So the training techniques which are used, I went through case studies and I went through research and articles, and the National Institute of Standards and Technology, they have a special publications report which implores how to design, develop, and implement security awareness program. While a report called Teaching Johnny Not to Fall for Fish proved that interactive games are most successful in raising awareness. So in their study, they found that if the goal was to identify phishing websites, they placed 14 people in 3 different groups, or 3 groups with 14 individuals in each, pardon me, where group number 1 was given existing training material where all they had to do was to read about phishing websites. The second group was given a tutorial, whilst the third group was shown a game, where they had to play a game on how to identify phishing websites. And the improvement was most successful for those who gamed. They were tested both before and after the test. And in 2017, the use of games was yet again proven to be the most successful by another study by Al-Ghamdi. So in my report, which I wrote, I made up a fictitious company who had been subjected to a penetration test, and we needed to find out what their vulnerabilities were and what we needed to focus on. So we decided to go for social engineering, and tailgating, which is a technique within social engineering, it occurs when social engineers exploit the naivety and trust of authorized personnel to gain access to the company's facilities. And the examples of tailgating can be acting as a delivery driver, so you can pretend to have many boxes in your arms and then try to get somebody to open the door for you because you're not able to do it yourself. Pretending to be a new employee, hang around the break area to gain trust, which is especially relevant if the break area is around the main entrance. Acting as part of the company's regular service provider. If you think about it, companies normally use the same business service providers. So it should be quite easy to dress up as the electrician and then get themselves in. Impersonating an employee who has lost the access card is another way of tailgating. The mitigation against tailgating is to train employees on the risks of tailgating, hire security guards and receptionists, and train them accordingly. Install RFID locks on gates combined with the detection security systems, which the RFID locks, they can resemble the cards when you get a hotel room that has an RFID lock. And connect these locks to the identity of the employee or the cards. Invest in high quality surveillance gear. Don't skimp out because you get what you pay for. Block tailgaters by not holding doors for unauthorized personnel, and train employees to stay alert if there are strangers in the building. And make sure the company badge is free from personal details. It is absolutely not necessarily to say that the receptionist is called Peter and he is the receptionist. Shoulder surfing is another technique. It's the practice of watching a person who is getting money from a machine filling out a form in order to find out their personal information. And examples of shoulder surfing are on the commute to work, during a lunch break, spying through windows, or just an open office. To mitigate against shoulder surfing, you can watch your angles, make sure when you're looking at your screen, if you're typing in a password or if there's something important on the screen, that nobody can see the screen. Create strong and nonsense passwords and don't reuse passwords. Cover windows. Invest in an app which stores password or a password manager. And in the times of working remotely, know who you are letting into your home. So if you have booked an electrician to come and fix your lighting, then know that the electrician is who or she says he is, and even call the company and ask, is this the person who was supposed to come? Dumpster diving is a practice of digging through a company's trash bins or dumpster to gain information. Another man's trash is another man's treasure. And to mitigate against dumpster diving, you can invest in a microcut shredder which shreds everything. And with everything, I don't only mean papers. I mean laptops, discarded laptops, external hard drives, discarded phones, anything where valuable information can be stored. And if you have an incident response team in your company, then encourage the team to investigate discarded items. Plain sight and theft refers to stealing information which is visible throughout the building. It must not be confused with shoulder surfing, as plain sight indicates what is visible to the naked eye, even when the employee is not there. Anything readily accessible and not locked in is vulnerable to theft. If I'd had a bit more time, I would have indulged you in this article. The headline reads, Hawaii prepares for unlikely North Korea missile threat. If you Google that, you will have a very entertaining hour or two just reading through that, what happened. It is, nobody was hurt and everything ended well. So it's a good read. To mitigate against plain sight and theft, make sure your employees can secure their belongings, preferably in a locker where there is an RFID lock, so they can use the same card to open up the locker and the doors. Keep a clean desk. Avoid post-it notes. Make sure even the cleaning closet has an RFID lock, because if a perpetrator can get into the cleaning closet, there are lots of chemicals there which can do a lot of damage on people and potential victims. And guests who come to the company should register with a momentary RFID guest ID card. Tech support and phishing is an electronic fraud tactic in which individuals are tricked into revealing critical financial or personal information to unauthorized entities. In such instances, scammers use a spoofed Normally, local area code. This is not relevant to Norway, as in Norway we don't use local area codes anymore. We only use mobile phones. Gather information to use towards an attack. That's what tech support does. So an example of that is that an employee receives a phone call by somebody claiming to be from tech support and says, I'm going to restart your system. Please give me your login credentials and I will set everything up for you. So train your employees to be vigilant of such. Also train your employees to verify unknown incoming calls, to report incidences to the incident response team or the IT team or the boss for that instance. Be suspicious and refuse to reveal explicit information over the phone. Employ a zero trust policy. It is not necessary that the receptionist knows what's going on in a meeting, but that the receptionist needs to know there is a meeting going on is of course important. And I learned this one a couple of days ago. Send the scammer on a wild goose chase. Give them fake information and just completely waste their time. The Federal Communications Commission suggests the checklist, which I have posted on the right-hand side. It is, of course, free to download it and use it for yourself. In phishing and spear phishing attacks, the classic phishing email scams are when scammers distribute the same email to possibly thousands of recipients on a mailing list, hoping someone takes the bait, while spear phishing builds upon the information the adversary already has attained. The phishing and spear phishing attacks exploit human vulnerabilities such as fear, greed, kindness, and stress. So remember that if the person already knows something about the employee or something about you, they can use that information against you, which is why you need to keep your credentials and your personal information private. A couple of weeks ago, my fellow students and I were encouraged to phish each other and send some phishing emails. We did this through the social engineer toolkit, which is in Kali. We had a really fun time. The email which is sent here was sent by my fellow student, and we did have a good laugh. I sent one to my mother as well, and pretending it to be from my sister, and vice versa, and I had fun with that. But they fell for it. So the mitigation against phishing and spear phishing is to evaluate employees through its cyber risk index. The CRI is available in the references of this PDF, and you're able to skim through it yourself. But basically, it evaluates the weaknesses of your employees. So that means you can treat employees differently and train them accordingly. So because there's no use to train your employees in things they already know, because that's just boring. Test them again after they have been trained to see if they've learned anything. Relaxed and fun competitions which keep score of employees' cyber risk index can be announced in the top 3 in the monthly newsletter. Have a comic strip in the monthly newsletter which focuses on phishing and spear phishing and social engineering for that matter. Integrate a fish alert button to the software technologies where the employees can press the fish alert button if they think they've been sent a phishing email, and that then alerts the team, the IT department for that instance. I am oh wow, that was quick. Sorry, I breezed through that one. Okay, so thank you very much for joining me on this talk. My on social media, you can have a look at my at the report. You can download it. It's on my LinkedIn profile, and please add me there. And also tell me that you've seen me on GrimmCon, because then I know who you are. I'm a bit suspicious of people on LinkedIn, to be honest.
I have to say, I love LinkedIn as far as penetration testing. I'm not sure I really understand it from the user perspective as well. Let's see, location.
Right.
Let's see if if I can find the right Nina Jones and share. Technical support
yeah,
specialist
you
at
can do that.
Ostival.
Pardon?
Are you technical support specialist at Ostival
Yes.
IT? Okay.
Yes. Just a quick book recommendation called No Tech Hacking, and a game recommendation, which where the features are social engineering challenges of other features. And I will also post a quiz to Discord where you can test yourself against social engineering.
Excellent. We had a couple of questions, if I may, Nina. And
Yeah.
You may want to go ahead and try your choice, but to plop on the webcam again. And
Oh, I'm
share
gonna
the
have to plug it in again.
transcribe it and make sure I have the right one.
I ended up tossing it on the bed, but
No worries. All right. First, big question. You referenced your end of first year report a couple of times. Is that available anywhere for us GrimmCon attendees as going above and beyond and bonus material?
yes, it is available on my LinkedIn profile.
Okay. Scroll. Featured activity, experience, education, interests. I don't see it. All right, I will follow up with you and we'll get the shared as well. Hey, you ran over and grabbed it. Okay. Yeah, I don't see it in there, but that's fine. We'll chat with you. We'll get it into Discord. So the important point is you're happy and willing to share it, and we'll get it over. As far as a couple other minutes of banter, I did want to mention on tailgating. Oh gosh, this even applies to, so a couple more US centric examples. Sorry, I'm a USian, so I can't help myself. US Army, right? We have the Common Access Card, Smart Card, right? I say we. I've worked with them, I'm not military. Has your picture on the front, and it's supposed to be not just a piece of plastic with a picture on the front. It's supposed to be validate the smart card aspect. But in practice, we all know that when you show up to a military base, you show them, yes, I have a piece of plastic with my face on it, and they say, all right, come on in. But you don't even always need that, right? The context of I am in a very military-looking vehicle and I am wearing a uniform that not everybody can just, buy a uniform. And I totally left my CAC inside. I've heard tales of exactly that story from multiple people working just like, all right, well, I'm not supposed to let you in without a CAC, but you go right ahead. I've been there. Right, so this absolutely happens even in very secure environments. So not all of the mitigations can help if there are armed guards, but they don't actually validate that people reliably have the thing that you're telling them to search for. So this is why we test our controls. Sometimes we refer to the offensive security community as glorified QA, which is fair, right? It really is. Double check.
Yeah, no, Jeff, I could definitely attest to that. Having my fair share of military common access cards, military cards per se. Well, in the military, I'm more me by me. That was my military. So no, definitely you have some who will check. They'll check the front and the back to say, hey, okay, this may look like an actual common access card. Then it's like, hey, you just check the front, and it's like. Then it's like 4 other people in the car, so you only check the driver. Some bases check all 4, all 4 people, or everybody in the vehicle. And then, it depends. It definitely runs the gamut as far as, like you said, Jeff, in the U.S., in the United States, as far as checking those common access cards. I've seen the ones where it's like, hey, look, I looked at it for almost maybe 20 seconds to actually see if it's legit. And then others like, yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yep.
Depends,
I mean, security
it definitely varies across.
I've seen big motions on. Let me scroll down, then flip, and like the actual physical display of how they're looking at it is far more intense than the actual inspection of the card itself. Right? I am making a big deal of inspecting the front, and now I will flip and observe the reverse side, and now I authorize you. You are cleared for takeoff or entry, whatever. Right? That absolutely happens. So thank you, Nina, for this is a great talk. Thank you for putting up with the issues we had along the way as well. Any last questions for us before? Are you able to step in Discord for a bit to share that survey link? Well, I shared the survey link, but maybe that where in your LinkedIn the paper is?
Yes, I will. Yes, I will do that.
Okay. Thank you, Nina. All right. With that said, Nina, thank you very much for joining at GrimmCon 0x3. And I will get to our next section. We're just a couple minutes behind, which is completely fine. Thank you for putting up with technical difficulties along the way. You had a little bit of trial by fire, but you emerged unscathed, at least from our perspective.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Great talk, Nina. I appreciate it.
It was a pleasure.
All right.
But no, absolutely.
So let me, I will briefly share, since I was talking about the imposter syndrome thing before, right? We all, I suffer from imposter syndrome often as well. I think you can see me share my screen now. People think that the side on the left from your perspective, right? What I know is a subset of what other people know, but reality is we all have different sets of knowledge.
Absolutely. I'm be honest, I still suffer from this today in certain aspects and everything. You go to it's a common thing, but honestly, it's one of those things you just embrace. You know what? Embrace that you're going to meet somebody who knows more than you about a particular topic. You know, and honestly, ask them their advice. I found people are more willing to tell you and teach you what they know versus just just walking in and like, oh man, I don't even belong here. I don't even fit in, things like that. It happens. I've been there. I'm still there. I'll go to any conference and I still feel like, man, this guy, this guy, he wrote the book on this. What am I even doing talking to this guy? You know, like I need to get back in line and things like that. And honestly, it's not like that. It's like, hey, look, been there, done that. I still don't know everything. It's other people that helped me write this book. And that's the big thing beyond, that's the big thing when you're just walking into anything, doing any conference, going to any training, going to talk to anybody. You know, everybody has something to share. And everybody has something to share, and everybody definitely, you know, has that syndrome. Everybody helps somebody along the way get to where they need to go. So
yep, it has something that can help others. So this is one of the few industries where we regularly share with everybody else. Take advantage of that, both in terms of receiving the sharing from others and also helping others with your own sharing. Wesley and I were talking before things even kicked off of like, your unique take on a subject that has been discussed many times will help somebody else. Your thought process will reverberate, will work nicely with others as well. So please continue passing on to the next generation, as it were. And it's not like you move from noob to expert and there's some magical transformation. I was talking with Jay Beal from In Guardians last night about this. Like, he turned 18 and like, okay, I'm an adult now, so I'm supposed to know what to do and like how to adult, right?
Yeah.
We've just been faking it this whole time, buddy. Sorry.
It's a lifelong lesson, man. You still learn stuff today. You know, so it's and honestly, like I said before, it doesn't have to be super technical. Your talk doesn't have to be super technical. I actually gravitate to a lot of talks where how to improve security awareness or how to do more business communications for our cybersecurity, because honestly, a lot of this is just a business. So even if you have some of those softer skills that you know how to make a presentation or make a call for papers, or definitely know like, hey, this is what we do in our awareness program. These are helpful things because awareness programs are very different across the scale. And honestly, if you have something that works and something that's been very effective, share that.